Hi guys, Jamie Humphries here for Six String Alliance, and today we are taking a look at the minor pentatonic scale. Now today we're taking a look at the pentatonic scale. Now yes, the pentatonic scale has probably been taught in thousands of YouTube lessons, but I have never looked at any scales on my channel before. We've done a lot more about chords recently and organising the neck, and this is kind of the next step in organising the neck, or at least how I organise the neck. So I felt it would be good to start with a slightly more basic scale, the pentatonic scale, before we dive into major scales and modes and all these other fancy scales that we use on the guitar. Now this lesson is aimed towards the beginner to the intermediate guitar player. It's amazing to me that all these students that I've taught over the years, some of them have some incredible techniques, some great chops, but they still have holes in the neck. And I think one of the fundamental skills that you need to have on the guitar is to be able to link the neck together. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with this scale, the pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale, and it uses notes from the major scale of the same name. We have different types of pentatonics. I should mention this. We have the minor pentatonic and we have the major pentatonic. Those are the two common pentatonic scales, but then there are all many different types and many different variations. You know, we have the dominant pentatonic scale for one, which is a great one to use over blues. And you can make alterations to this scale to fit over different types of chords. You can do the Japanese pentatonics. There's a whole world of, pentatonic substitution is another great thing to get into. But again, that's quite advanced. So for today, we're just going to be taking a look at the basic minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to learn this in the key of A. Yes, the stereotypical key. Don't worry, we are going to be looking at some other keys for those of you that are slightly more advanced and how I organise the neck. We're going to start off on the 5th fret of the E string. I'm going to play a major scale for you, just a 1-octave major scale. Now the pentatonic scale actually uses notes from the major scale of the same name. We have the root note, we miss out the second, which is B, we take the major third, which is C sharp, and we drop that as semitone. So we have a minor third, we use the 4th, the 5th, we eliminate the 6th, which is F sharp, we take the major 7th, which is the note of G sharp, and we drop that down to the note of G. So it's a minor 7th. So the formula of the minor pentatonic is root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7, and a root note. And then we can just continue that across the fingerboard. Now, shape 1 of the minor pentatonic is the most common scale that people learn when they first start to play the guitar. You can get all your Chuck Berry style licks. It's also based around an E shape. We'll talk about that in a moment. So it's really easy to move it around the neck. The first note is the root note, so it's easy to turn it into different keys. So let's take a look at the fingering of shape number 1 of the A minor pentatonic. This, as I said, this is the most common shape. We play 5 to 8 on the E, 5-7 on the A, 5-7 on the D, 5-7 on the G, 5-8 on the B, and 5-8 on the top E. And try and stick to a finger per fret when you're playing that shape. So first, 4th finger, first 3rd, first 3rd, first 3rd, first 4th, first 4th. So this scale has its root note on the 5th fret of the 6th string, 7th fret of the 4th string, and the 5th fret of the top string, the 1st string. Now, to be able to connect that across the neck, it's important to understand how the shapes link and also the kind of theory behind how we play scales in different positions. What we're going to do is just play a pentatonic scale on one string. So we're going to play A, C, D, E, G, and A. And those are all of the notes of the scale, but we're now going to treat those as potential root notes. So for instance, we started on the A note in shape 1. We're now going to start from the C note, which is the next note up. That's the minor third. And then we have a new fingering that continues from that note through the rest of the notes of the scale. So where we started there, A, C, D, E, G, A. We're now going to play C, D, E, G, A, C, and so on. And then the next position will start from the D note. That's the next note in the scale. So we'll play D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, so on. We keep playing through. The next position, we start from the E note. That's the next note of the scale. We play E to G, A to C, D and E, G, so on. Keep going. And then the next shape, this is the final shape. We start from the G notes. We're going to go G, A, C, D, and then E, G, A, C, so on, through all the rest of the notes. So you get the basic picture of this, of learning this scale. You start from each note of the scale and continue around the cycle of notes. So to make this a little bit easier, we can actually arrange these into 5 fingerings. So the first shape started on the note of A. The second shape starts on the note of C. So this is shape number 2 of the minor pentatonic. And here's the fingering. We have 8 to 10 on the E, 7, 10 on the A, 7, 10 on the D, 7, 9 on the G, 8, 10 on the B, 8, 10 on the E. And the important thing to remember here is that you don't start on the root note. The root note is not C. The root note is here on the 7th fret of the D string and on the 10th fret of the B string. So let's just play through that shape one more time. You can hear I resolved to the lowest possible root note, which is on the D string. So now let's take a look at shape number 3. This shape starts on the D note. So obviously we've gone from A to C, now to D. We're just working our way through all the notes of the pentatonic scale and continuing up through the scale. So the fingering for shape 3 is 10-12, 10-12, 10-12. Onto the G string, we're playing 9-12. On the B string, we play 10-13. And on the top E, we play 10-12. The root notes for this shape are on the 12th fret A and on the 10th fret B. So let's have a listen to the shape. Always important to identify those root notes and play those root notes. That's how you're going to be able to move these shapes around the neck, connect one key and also play in other keys. Onto our next shape. This is shape number 4, and this one starts on the E notes. We've started on A for shape 1. Started on C for shape 2, we've started on D for shape 3, and now we're starting on E for shape number 4. And the fingering for this shape is 12-15 on the E, 12-15 on the A, 12-14 on the D, 12-14 on the G, 13-15 on the B, 12-15 on the top E. The root notes for this shape are on the 12th fret A and on the 14th fret of the G. So we put that scale shape together. So now we're on to the final shape of the minor pentatonic scale. This shape starts on the note of G. Now just to recap, shape 1 started on A, shape 2 started on C, shape 3 started on D, shape 4 started on E, and now shape 5 starts on G. So we're going to play 15-17, 15-17 on the A, 14-17 on the D, 14-17 on the G, 15-17 on the B, and 15-17 on the top E. Your root notes on 17 on the top and bottom E, and on the 14th fret G. So let's have a listen to that shape. Here we go. Okay, just to complete the neck, I like to go back to the original starting point, back to shape 1. So we're playing 17 to 20 on the bottom E, 17, 19 on the A, and 17, 19 on the D, 17, 19 on the G, 17, 20 on the B, 17, 20 on the E. So that shape. If you can get your fingers in there, you can also play shape number 2. And obviously we can play shapes prior to shape number 1. We can play shape number 4 in this open position. Shape number 5 we can play here. I'm going to play through shapes 1 through to 5 and then include shape 1 an octave higher. I'll start on the root note and play all the way through the scale and then resolve to the root note. Here we go. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, you can start in lower positions and cover the whole fingerboard. Now, before we do that, I want to just offer another way that I kind of prefer to look at these scales. I like to associate them with the CAGED chord system. Now, we have done quite a lot of work on my channel over the last couple of months looking at all of the CAGED major chords and the minor chords, and we can associate the pentatonic scales to these chord shapes as well. Now, if I look at shape number 1, you've got your root note on the 5th fret of the 6th string, you've got the root note on the 7th fret of the 4th string, and on the 5th fret of the top E. And if you look in that position, you can actually play around this E shape of A minor. You can even see that chord shape in that pentatonic box. They share the same position, they share the same root note. So in the next position, we have our root notes on the 7th fret of the D and on the 10th fret B. And there you can see we have our D minor shape. So whenever I see a D minor chord shape, I know I have shape number 2 of the minor pentatonic in the same position. Even when you play that minor pentatonic, you can see the shape itself. You can see the chord shape within that scale. So let's look at the next chord shape in the CAGED system. We had the E minor shape. That's where we started. Shape 1 minor pentatonic based around the E shape. Shape 2 minor pentatonic based around the D minor shape. Now we're going to have shape 3 minor pentatonics based around the C minor shape. Next shape in the CAGED system, the A minor shape. And there I can play shape 4. When I play shape 4 minor pentatonic, you can see the A minor chord shape in there. This is the great thing. When you look at the chords and the scales over the top of each other, you can actually see the chord shape within that pentatonic shape. So here's my A minor shape. Here's shape 4. And then finally we have the G minor shape. That's the next shape up in CAGED. And you can see that that fits around shape number 5 of the minor pentatonic. So put them all together. I can play the entire neck now. I'm actually going to start here. A minor is an A minor. A minor is a G minor. A minor is an E minor. A minor is a D minor. A minor is a C minor. A minor is an A minor. A minor is a G minor, A minor is an E minor, and I can just about get my fingers in there, just about to play A minor as a D minor. I've connected the whole neck together using the CAGED minor chords, and I've just learnt the pentatonics over those shapes. So A minor is an A minor, A minor is a G minor, A minor is an E minor, A minor is a D minor, A minor is a C minor, A minor is an A minor shape, A minor is a G minor shape. We're back to where we started, but an octave higher. A minor is an E minor shape. And then we can just about squeeze on A minor as a D minor shape here. Gets a little bit tight in the top end of the neck, but you can see how I've linked the CAGED scale shapes together, and I see the pentatonics over the top, and it completely opens the neck. Now, if you haven't already, I really suggest that you take a look at my major CAGED system lesson and my minor CAGED system lesson, as this really shows how to link the fingerboard together. Like I said, if you're new to the guitar, you can simply use these fingerings, looking at the identifying from the root notes, but I think it is such a better idea to see the chords. Now I'm going to show you why. I did an exercise during the CAGED major and minor CAGED chords lessons where I looked at cycles of fourths, ways of arranging entire keys. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing today. If I give you the concept of it, you should be able to follow the sheet that I've provided, where you see the chord shape and the associated scale shape and link the neck together. But I like to work through key cycles. So, for instance, cycle of fourths, C minor shape of C, F minor, B flat minor, E flat minor, A flat minor, D flat minor, G flat minor, B minor, E minor, A minor, D minor, G minor, and back to C. Let's take a incredibly simple musical form, or a very basic idea of a musical form. Let's look at A minor blues. We've got the chords of A minor. We're going to use an E minor shape for that. I'm going to play a D minor using an A minor, and instead of moving up here to play this A minor shape, that's kind of the easy move. That'd be a much simpler move, but I'm going to play a C minor shape to keep everything in one position. And what I would do is, when I was soloing over those chords, I would change pentatonic as the chords change. So over A minor, when the D minor chord lands, when the E minor chord lands, and you can hear that I can really outline the chord changes of a blues by changing pentatonic over each chord. And instead of doing it with shape one and just, moving up and down the neck really, it's not a very economical way of playing. I can keep things nice and close together. It's a great way of playing. And of course, you can do this in every position. So A minor pentatonic using shape number 2. D minor pentatonic in the same area is shape number 5. E minor pentatonic in the same area is shape number 4. And you can arrange this idea in all 5 positions of the fingerboard. I think there's another video there at some point, and we should maybe delve a little bit more in depth with this idea. Okay, so there you have it. The minor pentatonic scale. I've tried to cram as much in as I possibly can today into this lesson. Something for everybody. If you're new to playing the guitar, get those shapes down, even if you learn just 1 or 2 positions to start off with. I always think it's important when you're new to the guitar, or even when you've been playing a long time, it's always good to try and learn something new every time you sit down for a practice session. So if you're new to this, spend 1 practice session on shape number 1. The next day, do shape number 2, obviously refresh shape number 1 and gradually build the neck up. If you already have the pentatonic scale down and you're like, yeah, this is pretty straightforward for me, have a look at learning it around the CAGED system and then try that key cycles exercise that we've looked at in some other videos. And I guarantee it will open up the neck for you in a way that you've never thought it would be open before. It really does free up the neck. And like I said, take a basic minor blues and try changing key over the top of each chord. Playing the associated minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic over an A minor chord, D minor pentatonic over a D minor, and an E minor pentatonic over an E minor, but trying to keep it positional. I think there's some really good ideas for you at whatever level you are at. Okay, so that's it from me. As ever, click the link in the description where you can download a PDF that contains the scale shape and the associated CAGED chord shape. And I will look forward to seeing you here for more lessons very soon. Take care. Bye for now.